Hey guys, this is Mike with Mike's Game Room Reviews. Today we're going to review Wolfenstein: The New Order for the Xbox 360. Now, Wolfenstein is an action-adventure first-person shooter video game that was developed by Machine Games, and it was released on May 20th, 2014 for the Xbox 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and Microsoft Windows. You play as Captain William B.J. Blazkowicz, and essentially you were in a secret invasion in 1946. You get knocked out with a head injury, and you get sent to Poland in an insane asylum, and then you pretty much wake up like 14 years later to realize that the Nazis won World War II, and then you pretty much have to come back from that, fuck shit up, and take the world back and save it from the Nazis. That's pretty much what the plot boils down to. And let me say, this game is pretty badass. It has solid gameplay with responsive controls, a fairly interesting story, a badass hero, and some pretty interesting locations to play in as well. Now, this game is somewhat linear, and you usually have to push down a hallway or street, but at least they have a couple ways you can go through that hallway or street incorporated in each level, so if one way doesn't work, you always can try something new. There is stealth in this gameplay, which works okay. Don't think it's reliable enough to beat the game by using it alone, but there are a few places where you do need to use stealth, and it does offer a nice change of pace from the usual gameplay. The game sounds pretty awesome too. Guns and bolts sound amazing, the voice acting is pretty good, BJ really sounds like a badass and plays like one as well. Unfortunately, the graphics aren't the best, especially for the 360, and when you have to have a large mandatory download before you could even play the game, I had a lot higher expectations for the graphics. The AI in the game is nothing to brag about, but they do offer a challenge, and each kill feels rewarding, especially if it's one of the more difficult enemies. There are two slightly different storylines you can play through, but other than that, there isn't a ton of replay value. Plus, there isn't any multiplayer, so don't get your hopes up there. There are a good amount of weapons in the game, plus you can get different attachments and upgrades for the weapons, so it always felt pretty fresh. There is a base where you spend some significant time in between each level, and they usually require you to do some random fetch mission. I really could have done without it, and it felt like the developers may have used that to prolong the game, and truthfully, I did not like that. It kind of broke up the action and broke up the pacing of the game, and they just should have completely scrapped that, but overall, it was still a pretty darn good game. The campaign was fairly long for a first-person shooter. It lasted about 20 hours, and at the end of it, I really did have a sense of accomplishment and completion. Although the last few levels, and especially the boss fights, were extremely difficult. At the end of the day, I really did love this game. It's badass, plain, and simple. If you like first-person shooters, this game is a no-brainer. Trust me, you want to pick it up and play it. Once again, this is Mike with Mike's Game Room Reviews. Thanks for watching, guys.